Hey guys, what's up? It's Alpha here, and today we'll be discussing a theory that the entire zombie storyline is nothing more than a dream as we continue our push through different zombies theories that are going around at the moment. Now, this is a theory that was is far more popular back in the days of World War and Black Ops Zombies, but when Origins was released in Black Ops 2, the theory lost quite a lot of steam and it isn't really in the air anymore, but we'll talk more about why that's the case later on. However, considering this theory is widely popular, well, it was widely popular back in the day, I thought it was worth a video discussing if this theory could actually hold some truth after all, so hence this video. And before we begin to dive into the physical evidence, I think it's important to note that in almost every long-winded story that exists, there are always people who like to claim that the whole thing is just a dream, even if there's like no evidence to support it. Dream theories aren't just exclusive to COD Zombies. Whenever, I'm sure if you watch like TV shows, there's always people on forums, who claim it's just a dream, even though they don't necessarily have evidence to support it. So, there is, COD Zombies is obviously, it follows no different path. Obviously, there's dream theories in COD Zombies, and we're going to be getting more into that today. And yeah, so using this logic, there's obviously the possibility that COD Zombies storyline dream theory, obviously it's just another one of these theories that, it has no basis to it, but we're going to be looking into some possible evidence, so we'll get started with that. So unlike many of these other dream theories, the dream theory of COD Zombies storyline, as I said, it actually has some evidence, and I should say some quite convincing evidence to support it. And perhaps the most compelling evidence of the storyline being a dream all comes, it comes back all the way back to Shino Numa from World at War. And when you activate the phone to trigger the map's musical Easter egg, the song, which is called The One by Alina Siegman, I think that's how you pronounce it, in Kevin Sherwood. Before the song starts, you hear a whisper saying, "I know you are sleeping." And just take a listen to this, I recorded it for you, just take a listen.
What? Are they gonna put a music Easter egg in every map now?
So yeah, in my opinion at least, this is indisputable proof that the entire zombie storyline could actually be just a dream. I mean, you can't really argue or interpret it in any other way. I mean, aside from it telling us that we are living in a dream, I mean, that's the only way you can interpret it that. So if we do actually listen to the lyrics of the song furthermore, you can actually hear the line, "I've been waiting for you to come here and kill me and set me free." That's one of the lines in the song. And although this is a bit of a stretch, I mean, this line could be interpreted that whichever character the singer represents, which I think is most likely Samantha, wants someone else to come and wake her up, in other words, kill the dream and set her free from it, if you kind of get where I'm going with that. Yeah, I know this is a bit of a stretch and it is a bit far-fetched, but I mean, it could possibly be, referencing the dream theory, because it does kind of make sense if you think about it, especially after you just had the "I know you are sleeping" whisper from the phone. I mean, and the song comes straight after. I mean, it could be referencing that. I mean, take it however you want, decide for yourself whether you think that is or not. So the next thing I want to point out are actually the co-op loading screens for every zombies map in Black Ops and Black Ops 2, and I believe also in Black Ops 3, some of them in Black Ops 3 at least. If you look carefully, you can actually see that each individual loading screen is actually a page in one larger book which contains all of the loading screen images from every zombies map. And I'll show you an example here on the screen. As you can see, the sides, it does show, like, it does look a lot like a book or a comic book. Now, obviously, this could be suggesting that the entire storyline is just a story in a child's comic book, which obviously also floats towards the whole dream theory. I know it isn't an exact thing, because obviously a child's game is different to a dream, but it is kind of referencing that kind of area of theories, of the whole thing not being as we thought it was, and instead just something as simple as a game or a dream. Now, the final thing I want to point out in regards to the dream theory is actually the Origins ending cutscene, which also arguably provides more indisputable proof, but also is kind of the reason why the dream theory lost a lot of air after Black Ops 2, as we said earlier. So let's talk about this. So when you watch the cutscene, I mean, you see Samantha and Eddie, aka Richtofen, playing with their toy zombie characters as though every map up until Origins was just a child's game. And child's game, dream, as I said earlier, it's kind of close enough if you think about it. And I think this is also what Treyarch were trying to get out with the whole loading screen book we were talking about just a minute ago. I mean, I think what they intended to do was to have every single book kind of lead up to Origins, or I should say every single page in the book lead up to Origins, and then Origins was kind of like the final map. Now people who believe the dream theory say that the Origins ending is, 100% solid proof that every map up until then was just a dream. But for those of you who have seen my previous storyline videos and some other stuff like that, you'll know that I don't actually think that this was the case. Now, in order to fully explain what the Origins ending means, we'll need to get more into the whole multiverse theory, which I've already made a few videos about. So to make a long story short, the Origins ending basically showcases a universe where the zombie apocalypse was just a game for the children, but does not necessarily mean that every map up until then was a game, because the maps before Origins take place in a separate universe entirely. And as I said, if you want to know more, then just go and watch my multiverse theory video, as well as my entire zombie storyline series. And then it should make a little bit more sense, because it is kind of confusing for me to explain in like a short video like this. So in a way, the dream theory is kind of true, but only in the Origins cutscene universe, and not the universe with every previous map like everyone originally thought it was. But after Origins, people did mostly think that the story was a child's game instead of a dream, which was why the dream theory has been kind of debunked and forgotten about ever since, because, it was kind of accepted that it was a child's game instead of a dream. So people kind of thought it was not true, the dream theory was debunked and all that stuff, so that's pretty much all the evidence. I know there wasn't much evidence, but I think I said before, this is kind of a theory where we're kind of going with strings, if that kind of makes sense. We don't really have much hard evidence or anything else like that to kind of just prove it. So yeah, that was pretty much the dream theory. I hope you all enjoyed that. Let me know down below if you think this is a good theory, or whether you think it's just something that someone made up, and it just, just so happens that those pieces of evidence that I showed you earlier, it just so happened that they managed to fit in with the dream theory. But yeah, so I think that's more or less it. I mean, I don't think that the storyline is just a dream, or I should say any part of the storyline was just a dream. I think this is just a theory, although having said that, I do think it is kind of interesting that all the way back in Shin Onuma, that phone Easter egg that said, I know you are sleeping. I think that is kind of weird. Because it definitely does, as you heard, it definitely does kind of sound like, a sort of dream theory kind of reference. So it's quite interesting that was there. I really don't know what to make of that, considering I don't think the dream theory is real. But as I said, let me know what you think down below, and I think that's going to be about it for today. So until next time, everyone, thanks for watching, and peace out.